What if disappearing for a moment could change everything? Right now, you're about to uncover the truth that no one talks about. Disappearing from the noise of life is the most powerful move you'll ever make. In the world we live in, you're expected to be everywhere at once. Constantly on, constantly available. But here's the secret. It's by stepping away, by disappearing, that you can truly transform your life forever. You're not escaping. You're creating space for something far greater. This is your chance to take control, to reset, and to finally connect with your true self. Welcome to the truth that no one else will tell you. Right now, this moment is just for you. All the stress, distractions, and noise can wait. As you watch this video, know that you are being cared for, supported, and protected. You've taken a powerful first step by being here. And for the next few minutes, let's make this time solely about you. Breathe in deeply, let go of the outside world, and allow yourself to experience the peace and clarity you deserve. Welcome to the Wellbeing Haven, where transformation begins. My name is Lucius Havenwood, and I'm here to guide you on a journey of self-discovery, growth, and inner peace. Together, we'll explore what it means to disconnect from the world's distractions so you can reconnect with your true essence. This isn't about escaping. It's about finding the space to hear your inner voice, to reflect on what truly matters, and to create a life aligned with your deepest desires. It's okay if you feel hesitant, unsure, or even a little afraid. That's part of the process. Transformation isn't always easy, but the moments when you feel the most resistance are often the ones that lead to the greatest breakthroughs. If you want to take a small step today, try something simple. Before you move on with your day, take 5 deep breaths. With each breath in, focus on this moment, on being present with yourself. With each exhale, let go of the tension, the pressure, and the need to be anything other than who you are right now. In these quiet moments, you're already beginning the transformation. Are you ready to disappear and transform your life for good? The choice is yours, and it starts right here, right now. About a year ago, Ethan, a successful 35-year-old entrepreneur, found himself trapped in a never-ending cycle of distractions. His life was constantly flooded with notifications, social pressures, and the overwhelming need to meet everyone else's expectations. He could feel the weight of the world on his shoulders, and no matter how much he tried, the noise from social media and daily demands never seemed to stop. It was suffocating. Then one day, Ethan made a decision, not to physically disappear, but to mentally and emotionally retreat. He chose to disconnect from all that external chaos, to dive deep within and reconnect with his true self. And what happened next completely transformed his life. When Ethan began this journey, he didn't just turn off his phone. He intentionally peeled back the layers of superficial distractions that had clouded his mind for years. It wasn't easy, but he stopped seeking validation from others and started seeking something much more profound: clarity and peace. By stepping away from the noise and embracing a period of digital detox, Ethan discovered what it means to truly engage in personal growth through silence. There was a lightness to this clarity, a freedom that came from no longer being chained to the expectations of others. And day by day, that sense of emotional freedom only grew stronger. At first, Ethan was confronted by his own vulnerabilities, insecurities, and fears that he had buried beneath years of distractions. But instead of avoiding them, he faced them head-on. He learned that embracing those vulnerabilities was the key to unlocking his greatest strength. This was the beginning of his journey toward personal transformation. Each step he took helped him shed the layers of doubt, revealing a version of himself that was stronger and more authentic. As he continued, Ethan experienced a profound shift, a complete mental reprogramming that changed the way he saw the world and his place in it. As Ethan delved deeper into this process, he uncovered the power of spiritual minimalism. By clearing away the unnecessary noise, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, he was able to focus on what truly mattered. Disconnecting from social media wasn't just a break, it was a revelation. It allowed him to hear the quiet voice within, the one that had been drowned out by all the external noise. This inner silence became a source of growth and strength, something he had never experienced before. It wasn't just peace, it was a deep, transformative silence that allowed him to rediscover who he really was. And that transformation only continued to unfold. With each passing day, Ethan felt himself becoming more grounded, more confident, and more in tune with his authentic self. His story, is a powerful example of how stepping away from the noise of the world can help you find your true self. But this journey isn't just about retreating, it's about facing yourself and embracing the vulnerabilities that come with it. Now let's explore how vulnerability plays a critical role in your own transformation and how it can become your greatest asset. Disappearing isn't easy. Silence can be brutal. That's how Ethan described the first days of his journey. And let me tell you, when you strip away all the noise, the distractions, and the roles you play every day, what's left is just you, raw and unfiltered. Vulnerability, the parts of us we often try to hide, suddenly comes into full view. But here's the key. True power lies within this vulnerability. It's not something to fear, but to embrace. The moment you stop running from your weaknesses, they begin to transform. By facing your fears, you reclaim control over them. Think of it this way. Facing vulnerability is like standing in front of a mirror, but not just any mirror. This one reflects everything you've avoided seeing. At first, it's uncomfortable. You might feel exposed, maybe even scared. But as Ethan discovered, the act of looking into that mirror, really seeing yourself without judgment, changes everything. When you start to accept your flaws and imperfections, they no longer hold power over you. And suddenly, those very vulnerabilities become your strongest tools for growth. Imagine taking just a few minutes each day to sit quietly and reflect on something you've been avoiding. Perhaps a fear of failure or a nagging self-doubt. Give that feeling space. Acknowledge it without trying to push it away. This is exactly what Ethan did. Instead of running from his greatest fears, he leaned into them. He embraced them, and in doing so, they began to transform into sources of strength and resilience. Vulnerability, when you allow it to exist, turns into courage. It's the first step toward lasting personal transformation. The beauty of accepting vulnerability is that it opens doors, not just to yourself, but to others. As Ethan learned, the more you accept yourself, the more authentically you show up in the world. And something magical happens when you allow others to see the real you. People are drawn to that authenticity. Vulnerability invites connection. It creates a space for others to do the same, making way for deeper, more meaningful relationships. Your willingness to be vulnerable becomes a gift, not just for you, but for everyone around you. So Ethan's story is a powerful example of the journey we all need to take, but this is about you now. Can you look into that mirror? Can you give yourself the gift of being fully seen? In the next step of this journey, we'll dive deeper into the practical benefits of facing your vulnerabilities, how this process can lead to real, tangible changes in your life. Because when you embrace vulnerability, you're not just changing your inner world, you're reshaping your entire life. So, what do you really gain when you choose to step away from the noise? The answer goes far beyond just mental clarity, though that alone is transformative. Ethan discovered that by disconnecting from the endless barrage of external influences, he was also freeing himself from something deeper, the constant hunger for validation. Think about how much of your day is spent seeking approval, whether through social media, work, or even personal relationships. Now, imagine living a life free from that pressure, where your sense of worth isn't tied to someone else's opinion. That's what Ethan found, an unshakable inner peace, one that isn't swayed by how others view you. With this peace comes something equally liberating, a sense of emotional freedom. You stop chasing after external affirmations and start finding fulfillment from within. This silence you create by stepping back from social media, by giving yourself space, does something even more remarkable. It acts as a reset button for your mind, allowing you to access parts of yourself that you might have forgotten were there. Creativity, for example, begins to flow naturally. Think about the last time you had uninterrupted time to let your mind wander. No distractions, no notifications, just pure, free thinking. Ethan began to notice that in the absence of digital distractions, his mind opened up. He was able to solve problems more easily, think more clearly, and let new ideas emerge effortlessly. He experienced a profound shift in how he approached both his work and his personal life. This wasn't just some abstract idea of personal growth. It was a tangible transformation that he could see and feel daily. But the benefits of disappearing go even deeper. As you allow your mind to quiet down, you begin to see things more clearly, especially about yourself. Self-awareness sharpens in moments of silence. It's like pulling back the curtains and letting sunlight flood a room that's been dark for too long. For Ethan, This meant recognizing which aspects of his life were truly fulfilling and which ones were draining his energy. He could finally differentiate between the people and activities that nurtured his spirit and those that only created stress. And with this clarity came the ability to make more aligned decisions. Can you imagine having that kind of insight, knowing exactly what deserves your time and energy and what doesn't? This kind of self-awareness leads to a deeper sense of purpose. It's no longer about just getting through the day, but about living with intention and clarity. One of the most profound shifts that Ethan experienced was in his emotional intelligence. As he learned to quiet the outside world, he began to hear something even more important: his own voice. And that voice reminded him of something he had long forgotten: that he was enough, just as he was. Without the pressure to meet anyone else's expectations, his confidence began to grow naturally. He no longer felt the need to prove himself or seek validation through achievements or recognition. Confidence, when rooted in self-awareness and peace, isn't fragile. It's the kind of confidence that radiates through everything you do, whether it's in your relationships, your work, or how you move through the world. Ethan noticed this change almost immediately. The same challenges he used to face felt lighter, not because they had changed, but because he had. And now it's your turn. You've seen how Ethan's journey unfolded, and perhaps you've started to recognize elements of your own life in his story. In the next step, I'll guide you through the practical ways to begin this journey for yourself. From daily mindfulness practices to making conscious shifts in your mindset, there are tools you can use to create the space for these same transformations. But before we get into the details, let's talk about how to build this process step by step so you can approach it in a way that feels natural and sustainable for you. Let's break this journey down together, one step at a time. I know that the idea of disappearing even briefly from the constant noise of life can feel overwhelming. That's why we'll do it gradually through checkpoints, simple moments where you pause, reflect, and realign with yourself. The first checkpoint is small but profound. I want you to take 1 hour, just one, to disconnect completely. No phone, no social media, no emails, just you and the silence. At first, this might feel awkward or even uncomfortable. That's natural. Silence has a way of revealing the things we tend to avoid. But in that quiet, give yourself permission to simply observe. You don't need to solve anything. Just be present with what comes up. By the third day, we'll go a bit deeper. This time, I want you to reflect on your core desires and goals. What is it that you truly want? Not what others expect from you, but what your soul craves. Write them down. Ethan found this exercise to be incredibly eye-opening. He realized that many of his past ambitions had been shaped by external pressures, by what he thought he should achieve, rather than what truly aligned with his heart. As you write down your goals, let go of any judgment. Just be honest with yourself. What would your life look like if it were driven by these deeper desires, free from the weight of outside expectations? When day 5 comes around, it's time to go even deeper. Set aside some time for meditation. But this meditation is different. I want you to meditate on who you are without the roles you play for others. Who are you when no one is watching? This can be challenging because so much of our identity is shaped by the roles we play: parent, friend, worker, partner. But when you strip those roles away, what's left? Just as Ethan discovered, when you allow yourself to exist beyond these expectations, you begin to uncover who you truly are. Sit with this question. You might not find an answer immediately, and that's okay. The act of asking is where the magic begins. As you move through these checkpoints, remember that this journey is uniquely yours. There's no rush, and it's not about perfection. Each day offers its own insights. Some might feel small, while others might shake you to your core. But every step, no matter how minor it seems, is a victory. Even the smallest steps create momentum, and that momentum builds over time. When Ethan went through this process, he realized that the subtle shifts, the changes in how he saw himself and the world, were the ones that made the most lasting impact. Be gentle with yourself. Transformation takes time, but with each checkpoint, you're getting closer to a more peaceful, authentic version of yourself. In the next part of our journey, I'll introduce you to others who, like Ethan, have walked this path and found profound change. Their stories will inspire you, showing that no matter where you are right now, transformation is within your reach. Let's keep moving forward, one step at a time, together. You don't have to take my word for it. This journey has been transformative for many others, and I want to share their stories with you. Each person's path is unique, but the common thread is the profound shift they experienced when they embraced silence and introspection. Let me start with Sarah, who was initially hesitant about disconnecting from social media. For years, she had built her identity and social life online, believing that maintaining this digital presence was crucial. But as Sarah followed these steps, she started noticing something incredible. Slowly, her anxiety began to ease, and the constant pressure to curate her life for others faded. She realized how much of her energy had been tied to this digital persona that didn't truly reflect her. Through the process, Sarah found an unexpected gift: confidence in real-life interactions, something she hadn't felt in years. Then there's Mark, a father of two who always felt stretched thin by the demands of family, work, and societal expectations. For Mark, the idea of disappearing seemed impossible. He didn't think he had the time. But he started small, with just 1 hour of silence. That single hour opened his eyes to how much he had been operating on autopilot, going through the motions without truly being present. Over time, Mark found that the more he disconnected from the external world, the more connected he became to his family. He shared how this practice helped him be more mindful and present, allowing him to build deeper relationships with his children and partner. For Mark, what began as a simple experiment turned into a life-altering practice of realignment. I also want you to hear Lisa's story. Lisa was someone who had always believed that her worth was tied to her achievements. She was constantly striving, thinking that if she could just reach the next goal, she would finally feel content. But no matter how many milestones she hit, the fulfillment was fleeting. It wasn't until Lisa embraced this process of stepping back, of meditating on who she was beyond her achievements, that she found a lasting sense of peace. Lisa's story is a beautiful reminder that sometimes the most powerful breakthroughs come not from achieving more, but from listening deeply to what's already inside. These stories aren't just inspiring, they show that this journey is possible for anyone, no matter where you're starting from. Whether you're like Sarah, overwhelmed by digital distractions, or like Mark, juggling family and career, or like Lisa, always chasing the next achievement, there is space for transformation. What's most powerful about these transformations is that they weren't isolated experiences. The shifts that Sarah, Mark, and Lisa made rippled into every area of their lives, from their relationships to their work, and most importantly, to how they saw themselves. Small, mindful steps led to profound change. Now it's your turn. Their stories are living proof that this path is not only possible, but incredibly rewarding. In the next section, I'll talk about some of the challenges you might face along the way and how to navigate them. Together, we'll address these obstacles and continue moving forward, step by step, just like they did. Let's be honest, this journey won't always be smooth. There will be moments when the silence feels uncomfortable, and you might feel an almost physical pull to check your phone, scroll through emails, or distract yourself in any way possible. That's okay. It's part of the process. Expect these challenges and know that each time you face them, you're building a new kind of strength. Sarah, who we talked about earlier, felt this urge to check social media constantly during her first few days. It felt almost impossible to resist at first. But here's the thing, she didn't fight it. She acknowledged the discomfort and let herself feel it. Over time, that urge lost its power. If you find yourself feeling the same, remember, every time you sit with that discomfort instead of reacting, you're rewiring your mind for focus and clarity. Another challenge you might face is the discomfort of sitting with your thoughts. When the world goes quiet, sometimes your mind gets louder. Emotions and thoughts you've been avoiding can rise to the surface. Ethan described this as one of the hardest parts of his journey, being alone with his thoughts without the usual distractions. But here's something to remember. These emotions aren't your enemies. They're simply reflections of what's been simmering beneath the surface, waiting for your attention. Allow yourself to observe them without rushing to fix or solve anything. Just like Ethan, you'll find that the more you allow these emotions to surface without judgment, the more peaceful and accepting you become. Then there's the common frustration of feeling like you're not making progress fast enough. We live in a world where we're conditioned to expect immediate results, and personal growth doesn't always follow that timeline. Mark struggled with this in the beginning. After a few days, he started to wonder, am I even changing? The shift came when he stopped focusing on the outcome and instead started asking, am I showing up for myself today? It's a simple but profound change in perspective. Progress and personal growth isn't always visible right away. Some days, you'll feel like you've made huge strides. Other days, the shifts are subtle but still significant. Each moment you dedicate to silence and introspection adds to the overall transformation, even if you can't see it immediately. And of course, there will be times when life feels too busy. You might think, I don't have time for this today. Lisa faced this regularly, torn between her responsibilities and her desire for quiet reflection. But here's the truth, even small moments of silence can create powerful shifts. You don't need hours of solitude to make a difference. Start with just 5 minutes before bed or 10 minutes in the morning. These small, consistent pockets of silence build over time, creating a ripple effect of calm and clarity throughout your day. You'll find that as you prioritize even these brief moments, you begin to create more space for yourself in the chaos. Finally, be gentle with yourself. This journey isn't about perfection, and it's not about getting it right every day. It's about showing up, even when it's hard. There will be days when you're distracted, when the pull to return to old habits feels strong, or when you doubt the progress you've made. That's all part of the process. The most important thing is that you keep going. In the next section, we'll talk about the long-term rewards of staying committed and how these small daily efforts will lead to lasting, meaningful change. You've made it this far, and that already shows your commitment to yourself. Here's the thing. You don't have to adapt to the world around you. You can carve out your own space, your own peace. Disappearing for a while, stepping away from the noise, isn't about running from life. It's about giving yourself the freedom to reconnect with what truly matters. This is your moment to take a breath, to look within, and to transform from the inside out. Imagine what your life would look like if you were guided by your own desires and not the expectations of others. That kind of freedom is possible, and it starts with this journey of silence and reflection. Transformation doesn't always look like what we expect. It can be subtle, and it can take time. But the change that happens when you embrace silence, when you step away from the chaos and listen to your inner voice, is profound and lasting. The world may remain the same when you return, but you won't be the same. You'll be stronger, clearer, more aligned with who you truly are. Think about how powerful that is, to move through the world with a deep sense of confidence and purpose, knowing that you are enough, just as you are. Ethan, Sarah, Mark, and Lisa all discovered this, and so can you. So what's stopping you from taking this step? The process might seem daunting, but you're never alone in it. Every challenge, every moment of discomfort is an opportunity to grow. The beauty of this journey is that each small step adds up, creating a transformation that will touch every area of your life. Are you ready to let go of the noise and trust the process? You deserve to experience the peace and clarity that comes from reconnecting with yourself. The world will still be there when you return, but you'll come back to it more centered, more present, and more alive than ever before. The truth is, you don't need to do more, you need to do less. Disappear to rediscover who you are at your core. As you continue on this journey, let the silence guide you, and trust that what you find within will be enough. Transformation is within your reach, and it starts with one simple choice: to show up for yourself today. It's okay if you're feeling unsure or even a little afraid right now. That's part of the journey. The moments when you feel hesitation or doubt are often the ones that lead to the biggest breakthroughs. If you want to take a small step today, try something simple. Before you move on with your day, take just 5 deep breaths. As you breathe in, allow yourself to feel the present moment. As you exhale, let go of any tension or expectation. In those few breaths, you're already starting the process of reconnection, of transformation. It's in these small, quiet moments that the real change begins. So what's your next step? Will you give yourself permission to disappear and transform? The choice is yours, and it's one that will lead to lasting, meaningful change. As you reach the end of this journey, remember, this is only the beginning. The transformation you seek starts with small, intentional steps, just like the ones you've already taken today. Disappearing from the noise and reconnecting with yourself doesn't happen all at once, but with every breath you take in silence, you're coming closer to the life you truly deserve, one filled with clarity, peace and purpose. Now let me ask you, what's the one thing you can do today to take the next step? It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's finding 5 minutes to sit in quiet or turning off your phone for an hour to focus on your thoughts. Whatever it is, take that small step today and notice how it feels. How will you create that space for yourself? If you're feeling unsure or even a little resistant, know that this is completely normal. Growth isn't always easy, and moments of discomfort or hesitation are often signs that you're on the edge of a breakthrough. So take a deep breath and remember that every small effort counts. You've already started this journey, and the transformation is happening, even if it feels slow. Progress isn't always visible right away, but it's there. If this video has spoken to you, if you felt even a subtle shift, I encourage you to keep going. These small, consistent moments of reflection are where true transformation begins. And remember, you're not alone in this journey. I'll be here, guiding you along the way, helping you take the next steps. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Wellbeing Haven and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. This is a space where we grow together, where we support each other in this process of finding peace and purpose. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. I'd love to hear how your journey is unfolding and how I can support you further. Your transformation has already begun. Now, it's time to fully embrace it. Take that next step today.